Over at the Jada main stage right now, we've got IXO America, Jeff Nelson, the Vice President of Sales, and Clint Lefollette, the Director of Design and Creative Content. IXO has been on the market in Europe for 30 or 40 years now, making 1/43rd scale models. And these guys are now emerging for the North and South American market with 1/64th. They got some pretty exciting stuff to tell us. So if you're not already over at the Jada main stage, get over here. They're going to be showing some of their new stuff that's coming out and talking about the really exciting things that are coming up this year. So it's yours, guys.
Cool. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it. Like he said, my name's Jeff. This is Clint. Clint is in charge of all the creative that goes on at IXO America. So whatever you see cool here today, it's definitely not my doing. It is Clint's doing 100%. So
it's a team. It's a team.
So we thought we'd kind of give you a little background on IXO. You may not know who they were because, like he said, we did have a lot of sales in Asia and Europe. IXO is actually the factory is called PCT, Premium Collectibles Trading Company. It was created in 2000 in Macau, and they produce, obviously, our favorite thing in the world, die-cast cars, right? We've got a production facility in Bangladesh, which employs just shy of 5,000 people. There's many pieces come out every single month. There's also a facility in China that employs roughly 400 people. So there's 4 different markets that IXO model cars serve, right? There's a Part Works collection, which is, you guys may know that more familiar as magazine models. You purchase a magazine, it comes packaged with a 1/43rd scale model, and the magazine is all about the model. The other one is the toy and hobby retail market, of course. The other one is the car and aviation industry, and then OEM production. So the factory that makes our stuff also makes cars for multiple other brands that you may or may not know. So they're very well versed in production of all different types of die-cast replicas. Us personally, IXO America, we were formed in April of last year, headquartered in McDonough, Georgia, down around Atlanta. Where we have a 52,500 square foot warehouse where all the distribution and shipping occurs. We're going to focus our efforts on bringing new 1/64 scale castings to the American market. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, well, do you have a fill in the blank here? And a lot of the times the answer is no. And, oh, I've been searching for it for a long time. Well, hopefully we can help fill that void because there's a lot of space that needs to be covered. This last year, we signed a deal with a racing series, and that series you may see over at our booth. We are now making the replicas for the NTT Data IndyCar series starting this year. So models will be out in May, just in time for a small little race called the Indianapolis 500. As I said, we're also going to be focusing on a lot of the 1/64th content that hasn't been brought to market yet. Of course, we are going to be producing some cars that some of other brands have, but I think that each manufacturer should have some of these in their arsenal as they are a very popular car. So speaking of that, the first replica that we're going to make was a classic, 57 Chevy Bel Air and the 150, okay? You can see here, we're also making a lowrider version. So we know that this is a really popular car. If you guys were on the VIP tour last night at Atomic Motors, you may have seen one of these out front. These are the first 2 schemes that we're going to come out with. So that red one was parked right out in front of Atomic Motors. It is for sale. I think they have it here. So go check it out at the car show. And Clint, if there was anything you wanted to add on the on this casting particularly. Clint does all of our job bags and all the design and everything like that.
Yeah, not too much. Just wanted to point out that they'll have rubber tires and there'll be chrome bumpers and things like that. What you would expect from us. We'll have like he said, the Real Rider version. We'll also have the police parts, so we'll be able to do all kinds of different things. And anybody who likes to do customizing, you'll have a lot to work with. So yeah.
I think the police parts are important because you don't see a whole lot of Bel Air, or 150 police vehicles out there in the market. So I think this is something that's pretty cool that Clint made sure was added in the molds. The next one, Clint, I'll let you introduce this one.
So the next one is the 73 to 80 GM square body. We're doing the crew cab on that. We're also going to have the dually version for that, as well as a lowrider option. Because I mean, what's cooler than a really long, wide truck? Not much. So yeah, you'll have a lot of options with that too. We'll have all the different wheels available, including custom wheels. Again, we'll have so many variants. We'll be able to do so many things. And again, any customizer out there will be able to do the exact same thing. So we got you in mind when we put these together. So
One of Clint's jobs is to make sure that the tooling is as robust as possible. So, if we can make a 73, 74, and with a few modifications, we can increase that to go all the way to 1980, we're going to do that and build that into the molds. It just gives the molds a lot more longevity and a lot more variations and ability to create many, many different model years. So, and you can see all the different wheel options as well that we are going to manufacture. Clint does all the research and figures out which ones that we need to make. First two decos here. We've got the fleet side lifted in a light blue and a white. And we've got the 3500 crew cab dually in a green and a white. So we're releasing the lifted first. I'm sure the lowrider slammed version will be made shortly thereafter, but these are the first two that we're going to come out with. Next up, this one's probably going to make a few people happy. Clint, go ahead and speak to this.
yeah, same thing here. I wanted to make sure that we had everything available on this particular casting. I wanted to make sure we had the short bed, long bed, and the step side. Because I mean, lifted step side. I mean, that's going to look awesome. Again, we got all the different parts to make every year possible for this one. Again, have you guys in mind for it. So come to us, let us know what you think, what you'd like to see. We'd love to have your feedback.
Yeah, swing by the booth if there's any like decos or color combinations you guys want to see on this thing. Let us know. This was one that came up quite a bit when we were going through the questions between all of us on which castings we're going to come out with first. This one kept popping up, and I think Clint did a really, really great job in the job bag and making sure that we're including everything that is needed to make this replica worthy of being out in the market. Next one up.
Yeah, so this one, the Demon and the Dart Sport. I know that, the Demon's been done before, the Dart Sport too, but hard to, like a 76 Dart Sport, that's like, why would you do something like that? If you think about it, back in the day, drag racing, a lot of these teams, company teams, factory teams, they'd use these. So kind of keep that in mind when you think about it, yeah.
One thing Clint hasn't mentioned yet, and he might get embarrassed by me saying it, he was basically raised in the back of a Dodge. So anytime he gets to work on a Dodge casting, he really, really loves it, and he makes sure that he doesn't miss anything. I kind of call him our Rain Man of Dodge. He can talk Dodge all day long, and he drives a Challenger. So he definitely wants to make sure that Dodge has representation in everything that we do. Not that we don't love the other manufacturers as well. That one's just a little near and dear to his heart here. We do not have decos on these quite yet, but those will be coming down the road. Again, swing by our booth, let us know what color combinations you want to see, and we'll make sure that we get that in a future release here. Sticking with Dodge.
Mm-hmm. So again,
Somewhat.
Same kind of idea. Gonna do the Duster. Got to do the Duster. Again, think back, drag racing, kind of a big deal. Don't see these very often. 70, 71, 72, sure. Beyond that, not so much. So, yeah.
It's something that Clint kept in mind of what has been out in the market, what hasn't. And sometimes some of these castings you've seen before, but they haven't been released for quite some time. So we wanted to bring a fresh spin on it and make a brand new casting where the body lines are nice and clean. You've got a lot of different, options on the hood and everything like that. So this was Clint's brainchild as well. So again, no flat artwork on this one yet. we're just waiting to hear back from the licensor to make sure we've got everything taken care of from a 3D perspective. So this gives you a little taste of what we're going to be coming out with. We're going to be making sure that we announce a couple more cars as well. If you guys don't know, we have our launch party tomorrow night at 10 o'clock on the second floor up there in the showroom. Big shout out to Neverland. They did all the graphics for us in the tunnel, all the LEDs, which will be really, really cool. So make sure you guys stop by. We're going to have some cookies and brownies. We're going to have a cash bar there with the bartender, all that stuff. We're going to make sure that we are releasing more cars. So we're not going to have another presentation up here. If you want to know the next, I think 3 more castings we're going to announce, make sure you come to the launch party tomorrow night. The whole team's going to be there, so we're happy to answer any questions you guys may have or anything like that. But I know that this was also supposed to be a Q&A, so we wanted to kind of go through the presentation a little bit quick so we could have ample time to answer you guys' questions. So if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand, and Brendan will come by with a mic. How'd I know you were going to ask a question?
Thanks, Jim. What's the retail price point on those? Do you have it yet?
Yeah, so retail price point for us is going to be between $10 and $12. And it's going to be, you know, a nice high-level quality piece. We're going to be doing it, if you saw our show exclusive on the Challenger, our packaging is going to be similar to that. It's going to have extra thick card stock with the collector box and the clamshell inside of it. So when you bust it out, you're going to be able to put it back into that collector box and have it as a keepsake to put in there to make sure your car is protected.
Anybody else? One thing I do want to point out is that, like, our focus is really going to be on, we're going to try to release things that you haven't seen before. That's a lot of things that people have been asking us about. So we have like a little suggestion sheet at our booth. So if you have an idea, something you haven't seen but like to see, please let us know. We're also, among other things, I think our big focus is probably going to be sort of like the American end, not limited to, of course, but we're going to focus on that. I think that'll be good for us and good for you. That's what I think.
Yeah, the most important thing for us is to make sure that we're filling any voids in the market that aren't being served right now. So swing by our booth. We are keeping tabs of suggestions that people come by with, and we are going to be taking them seriously. We will convene after this and have a meeting to make sure that we're discussing everything that was brought to us. I don't know how many of you guys were able to watch this, but we actually got a really cool opportunity a couple of weeks ago to go on a little podcast, Diecast Blast. So we want to thank those guys for having us. So Clint and I were on that. It was a lot of fun. And if you guys watched it, one thing that we wanted to breach the topic of with the collector is chase pieces, right? Love them, hate them, indifferent to them. We want to know it all because we know some companies are doing too many, some companies aren't doing enough, and we want to play in that area that it makes it good for you guys in the secondary market to have these things out there and not have 1,000 of them, right? We want to make sure that they Maybe? Does that one work? Oh, we can just trade back and forth. Oh, now it works. But yeah, so we want to make sure that we're doing the best possible job of creating something that you guys are going to enjoy. Whether that is changing something every single time we do it, or if we maintain it the same. You know, we're not tied to anything right now. This is a brand new venture here in the United States. So any and all suggestions are more than welcome because at the end of the day, we're making these cars for you, not for us.
Yeah, our focus is you guys. So,
Jeff, they look good. Where can we get them? How do we get them?
Yeah. So you will, right now, if you go to ixoamerica.com, it's a B2B platform. So you have to have a business license and all that stuff. You can check out our socials, Ixo Model Cars. But we are going to list all the locations that you can get them here coming up very shortly. We're taking a lot of pre-orders, things like that. One place that you can get them, one of our sister companies is Fairfield Collectibles, so you can hop on over there. You can swing by our booth and pick up a poker chip. It's got a QR code on the back. If you scan that QR code, it's going to take you to a landing page for a 10% off coupon, and that's across all products on the Fairfield website. So definitely feel free to do that. One piece of good news is the Ixo model cars in the past has been very, very heavy in 1/43rd scale. They've got a tremendous tooling bank of that scale. Don't know if any of you like that scale right here, but if you do, we just got a full container of Ixo 1/43rd scale existing products that just hit our warehouse this week. So all that stuff is up and active and able to be ordered right now on that website. So like I said, swing by, pick up a poker chip, and head on over there. They're filling orders right now, so any order that you place while you're here, it's going to be packed up and shipped, and should be to you by the time you get home.
Yeah, pick up a show exclusive while you're over there too.
Yeah, so we got a couple of things where, with the exclusive, we've got a car that's limited to 264 pieces. Clint actually signed and numbered 12 cars. I think they're all sold out now, or maybe there's one left.
No, they're all gone.
But Clint's happy to sign any exclusive that you guys get.
Absolutely.
And if you ever want to talk Dodge with him, feel free to swing on by and do that as well. But he's definitely a creative
not
guy.
Just, but anything. Yeah.
What about, is there any opening features on your castings? Doors, trunks, hoods? And I was noticing on that bullnose Ford, those mirrors that are on the side, is that part of the casting, or is that like a plastic added piece?
Yeah, so those mirrors are, they will be separate parts. We don't have any opening parts as far as engines are concerned, or, hoods are concerned at the moment. I don't know, we just decided, not to do that.
One of the reasons that we decided not to do that on these releases is to keep the body lines as clean as possible. I know sometimes when it's an opening hood or an opening door, the door jambs can get really, really big or wonky, and it's a QC nightmare. And if you have opening hoods, right, the paint can kind of get lodged in there, and it's very precision painting. We figured if we could keep the body lines nice and clean and offer a true 1/64 scale replica, that would be appreciated out in the market. But good question. Our friend from Iowa.
Yes. Is there any way we could see a casting and a crew cab in this one?
What's that? I'm
Is
sorry.
there a way we could see a crew cab in this casting in the future?
Crew, how
I wouldn't rule anything out.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing.
Appreciate it.
we have that suggestion written down.
Yep.
I was going to ask, since you're a Dodge guy, any chances of 80s or 90s Ram Chargers, since they've never been made?
Again, wouldn't rule anything out. Come back to the booth, write it down. Make sure you write that down so we can hear you. So yeah, there's no reason not to do that. Yeah.
The initial feedback we're hearing right now is I think the 80s and 90s are a little underappreciated and underproduced right now. So we're more than happy to investigate any of the cars from there. I mean, even obscure as they may be, let us know, because now the children of the 80s and 90s are coming up, and they've have disposable income and things like this, and we want to remember our childhood, right? I mean, I'm a child of the 80s, so it's cool for me to be able to see something that I remember. I mean, I think that's why we all got into this hobby, right? Is to keep a part of our childhood alive and something that makes us smile. So, we definitely want to hear those things. We're not saying we have all the answers. As we said before, we're here for you guys, and we really want to be able to cater to what you guys are looking for. So, but we do understand the 80s and 90s market is a big area right now.
Yeah, and I have a 95 Chrysler Baron GTC convertible. I would love to see that. I'll write it down in the suggestion box.
Yeah, I think there was a little influx in interests in the GNX after a Super Bowl performance. So, we'll see what happens with that one as well.
All right, we got here a little late. Are you guys going to do chase pieces in any of the drops or releases?
Yeah, we did talk about that. The big question is, please come back to us and talk about that. We don't have anything set in stone right now. We're almost like a clean whiteboard where we can write our own story. So we really want to hear those suggestions on how we can make them the best that we can possibly make them.
One thing you said was the mirrors on the particular Ford pickup come as an add-on accessory. Does that mean they're going to come like a model kit or with different wheels, tires, accessories, things like that?
No, it'll just be, it'll come as it comes, but they'll be separate parts as far as, you know, plastic. Yeah.
Do you plan on offering a set of extra accessories like wheels, things like that, so they can be
I
added
would
on?
say come back to us, write it down, and we'll keep it on file.
The
'Cause again,
thing-
like you said.
I mean, it's a
slate,
fair
right?
question because you got 5 different wheels
Right.
shown right there.
Yeah, well, I think part of the reason we came here is we wanted to be a sponge and absorb as much as possible. And I think after walking the show floor and talking to a lot of people and the customizers and things like that, I think it's important to offer many different wheel options. Even last night, if you guys went on the tour, we went to House of Cars, right? I was really impressed with that front showcase that had a ton of different wheels, and they were beautiful. They were really, really nice. So we know that that stuff's important. And if wheel packs are what you guys want, I'm sure we can come out with some wheel packs. I know people have said it'd be great if you included the axles in it as well, because you've got to break most of those off to be able to customize them. So, you know, a wheel and tire and axle pack, it's definitely something, you know, that's in the cards. I think Clint did a great job with these job bags of really searching out all the different wheel options.
Yeah, so I was just going to add that the reason why there are, you know, these wheels listed, you know, certain wheels, certain wheels, they belong to certain years and certain models. So I want to make sure that they're going to be as accurate as possible, because I personally, you know, I like to think of it as like taking a shrink ray to a car and just like shrinking it down, you know. I'm big into, you know, factory stock kind of stuff. I like that, so I want to make sure that we've got all that kind of stuff available too. So that's why, you know, you'll see, you know, multiple wheel options, because it needs to, you know, cover different models and years.
Yeah, and here shortly, we're going to be able to share some photos of the first shots off the tool on the Bel Air and the GMC. So those are the first 2 castings that we've got heading our way. Hopefully we should have them in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be able to post them on our socials as well. So make sure you guys are checking that out, and we'll definitely be releasing that information, hopefully shortly followed by the decorated samples that are painted up really nice.
All right, so I think that's about time. So IXO America's booth is all the way back in that far corner. It's right after you get off the elevators. It's to the left. So be sure all the other questions that you have for these guys, you want to see the models they have, the show exclusives back there that are still for sale, that are limited to how many pieces?
264.
264 pieces. Those are back there, but the signed special 12 of 12s are gone.
Those are gone, yeah.
Okay. So IXO America's back in the corner. Thank you very much, guys, for your time. Really appreciate it. This is really exciting stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.